Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Sunday evening Bhagavad Gita class. So let's get started. As usual, we will start with the prayers, which are in the introduction portion of the Bhagavad Gita. Let me share my screen. What do you see?
Yeah.
Okay. So we go to introduction of the Bhagavad Gita, and here are our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All right, so welcome once again. Thank you so much for joining and for making it to the fifth. I can't remember, probably it's the fifth one today. So we will continue our journey, and let me see. So if I do like this slideshow, that's what we are going to do. Share screen, this one. Nice. Okay. All right, very nice. Oops. Just go with this. So we'll just get started in just 1 second. I need to open a file. So we left off in the middle of chapter 3 last time. Okay. And we will continue from where we left off. So I have prepared a quick review of where we are. Few people said we are going a little fast. They also acknowledged that we are in the other course, which is going really, really slow and deep. So there's a contrast. Anyway, just by a show of hands, including on Zoom. The majority of the population is on Zoom actually. So how many of you think that we are going very fast and it's kind of hard to, you're drinking from a fire hose? So 2 people on Zoom raised their hand. Okay. So that still does not tell me whether the majority thinks we are kind of, how many of you think we are going at the pace is right? Let me put it that way. Okay, I do see more hands on Zoom. So at least we have some contrast, and there will be people who don't raise the hand. So that's fine. So at least we get a contrast. You know, if you only have a poll, do you want Biden as president? Yes, no. If, you know, no means, doesn't mean the rest of the population wants the other guy there. So anyway, so you can lower your hands. Otherwise, I won't know if it's for a question or something. Okay. So we'll keep going, and I have a quick review to kind of, you know, bring you to speed of where we are. So please, again, the request is pay very careful attention. Bhagavad Gita is philosophically deep. It is the manual for our life. Our body is a complex machine. So we, you know, the manual is also a little bit, you know, heavy. So please pay attention and you will definitely understand everything nicely. So again, I will keep coming back to this verse 2.39. You don't have to open it right now, but there was this sort of a distinction between Sankhya and Buddhi Yoga, which we will now call, or now the new name has been given, which is Karma Yoga. Okay, so both are spiritual. So we are not even talking about the material path. And in one of these spiritual paths, which is Sankhya, is everybody is a spirit soul. And especially for Arjuna, what's the need for any action? So in our lives also, what's the need for any action? If we are able to elevate ourselves to that highest spiritual realization that we are all spirit souls, including myself, what is the need for any action? Or there is no difference between action and no action. Both are same. So that is one level of realization or one option. Another option is do your duty with the same realization that we are all spiritual beings. And therefore, out of the doing the duty, whatever results come, there is no attachment to the results. There is no desire. You did not do the duty for the results. Results will be produced. Okay. When you do a duty, when you put input into a box, output will come. Okay. But you don't claim any proprietorship, any ownership on the result. So that is called complete detachment from the results. Okay. So these were the two principles. And I thought it is also important to drive home the point. What is yoga? The literal meaning was yoga means connection. The Bhagavad Gita, from the Bhagavad Gita standpoint, the yoga means connecting with the supreme or with a superior authority, somebody who is greater than us, the creator and the maintainer of everything, of ourselves and this whole world. So connecting with that higher authority is yoga, or that higher personality or person. So in this chapter, chapter number 3, the first path is being described, which is do your duty, do action, but with a spiritual consciousness. Okay. The next one, path number 2, will be discussed in chapter 4, the Sankhya path or the Atma Jnana path. So those will be discussed. So chapter 3 is not going to touch upon it heavily. It will still touch upon it, but not fully. So we are discussing path 1, which is Karma Yoga. Are you so far? It's straightforward, right? That wasn't hard, isn't it? Everybody on the same page? Anybody on Zoom confused of how we got here, where we are? Nobody's lost. Okay, great. Now, within Karma Yoga, so we'll now go deeper. So again, please pay attention. Keep your book in front of you. We will refer to verses as we go along. But the most important thing is attentive hearing. So in Karma Yoga, there are two levels, sakama, which I have put here in red color, and nishkama. Lower level is sakama, higher level is nishkama. Okay. Now, before that, the main point of Karma Yoga is that you or your actions, you or your whatever you are doing, are not the only cause of results. Okay. That is the main point. Therefore, somebody has to be the cause of whatever is going on. If I am not the only cause, I am the cause. Some cause, yes, if you get, good marks in your test, yes, there is some cause for it. But you are not the only cause. A better example I will give in the next slide. I think I mentioned it, that of a farmer. Farmer sows the seeds, tills the land, everything. But if there is no rain, he may do his perfect duty of sowing the seeds and, plowing the land and everything. The crop, the result will not come. So realizing that, first of all, we are not the only cause. Therefore, there is some cause, right? Every effect has a cause. There's a cause and effect. That means there's some other cause. That other cause is this superior authority. Who it is not yet being fully disclosed in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita it's still the building up. Okay, like in a movie, it builds up, some very serious, deep movie. When you get into the middle of it, then you begin to really understand, you're into it. That won't happen till we reach chapter 7. Till you are fully into it. So it is still all building up. If you just leave the movie after seeing 30 minutes of it, you may end up with the wrong conclusion that the villain is the hero and the hero is the villain. Okay. This is not a movie. It's not a fiction, but I'm just giving you an analogy. This is way deeper. I don't want to trivialize Bhagavad Gita. But what I'm trying to say is it's building up. We are going somewhere. We are leading somewhere. It's like a, multi-season or whatever, multi-episode series. So every week you're getting one. It's still building up. Take it that way. So that means there is some other cause for the results, somebody else. And therefore, we offer some results, portion of our results to him or her or whoever that person is. Doesn't that make sense? Just like we live in a society here, in any society where you live, you have to pay your taxes. Whether it is HOA, they maintain the parks and the pools and all that. There is no free lunch. So you pay the taxes. The Oregon state maintains certain things. You pay taxes to them. The overall country prevents, these Chinese balloons flying on top and all that. Somebody went and shot it down. Did you send the fighter plane to shoot it down? No, you didn't. Ultimately, it was your tax dollars. Whatever, the bridges and so many things. The point is, there are things that are occurring around you to keep you safe, protected. They're providing for your maintenance, isn't it? So we pay our taxes. So, but you don't pay 100% of your money as tax. So that is the point of Nis-kama Karma Yoga, that the results are produced. By the way, are you seeing my mouse on Zoom as I am pointing to the bullets? Okay, great. Thanks, Kirubanan Prabhu. Yeah. So the results are produced by multiple factors, which is God's government. This we had discussed in 3.10 to 3.16. Who can tell me what is the name given to the God's government or the government officials? What was the common name we gave? Devatas. Very nice. So they are the Devatas who are his officials and they are running his administration. We pay taxes to the administration. So we pay our taxes, that is known as yajna or our sacrifices. And there is an element of some portion is mine. Some for me, some for you, because I worked for the results. You also contributed. So you take some, I take some. Now, in this case, the government is very benevolent. The taxes are very, very low. Not like 30, 40, 50% in our case. Okay. Now there is a more advanced level of Karma Yoga where, so can you see here in the important point to note. So again, ting, ting, important point. In Nis-kama Karma Yoga, is there any spiritual element? Do you see? Do you see any spiritual element there?
We are realizing that it is not just because of our efforts. It is.
But you realize that even when you pay taxes to Oregon State, US government, they are also helping to keep you safe, protecting you. If there is, maybe food shortage or something, they will come and give you food. Who gave you COVID vaccine? Did you pay for your COVID vaccine? No, government paid. It was a national, whatever emergency they paid. Of course, it's coming from your tax dollars, but you didn't go and anybody was allowed to come and get a vaccine. It was paid for. Is there anything spiritual in that?
What about the point about yogi and sacrifice? Is that the spiritual part of it?
No. So somebody asked a question, I think it was a related question. What is things like forgiveness or those good qualities? So my question is, do you see anything spiritual in this? The answer is no. That's the right answer. So Nis-kama Karma Yoga, basically you are realizing, only thing is you are acknowledging you're not being a selfish jerk. That's all it is. That you think you have the right to the 100% of the result, even though you are only a 50% cause. So you are just being honest. You are having a sense of gratitude, a sense of responsibility. There's nothing spiritual in it. You're just being a good, honest person. Are you following that? Everybody on the same page? Any disagreements? Okay. Now, in the second one, the higher level, that is the spiritual level. There is an element of spiritual consciousness there. You are doing the duty, but you are claiming zero proprietorship over the results. The reality is you were a cause in the results, whether you do it with spiritual consciousness or material consciousness. If you did the action, technically you were one of the causes, but still you are giving up the claim to the results. Because the reason is because the action was performed by whom? By the soul or by the body?
By the soul.
The body. The soul does not perform action. Okay, so that's maybe a new concept, or we covered it and you didn't pay attention. I don't know which one, but the concept is the soul does not perform action. The body performs action. And therefore the soul says, I didn't perform any action. I will not claim any, and I am not the body. And therefore I will not claim anything on the result, from the result. I am satisfied with no results, no fruits. So that is Nis-kama Karma Yoga. Okay. Now this is not something that we operate at a level. So it may seem very unfamiliar or alien concept, but that is the concept. Now this whole thing will be simplified by the time we reach chapter 7. So I fully agree that this is a little bit of a hard concept to grasp, or the concept theoretically may make sense. Okay, what do I do about it? How do I actually, from tomorrow, how do I start putting it in practice? Maybe hard. That is how it is meant to be. The answer will be really revealed a little later today, but more fully in this once we reach the middle of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7 onwards. So stay there. Even Arjuna will say, I don't get it. Even he will say, the perfect student. So what to say about us? We are not like Arjuna. We are backbenchers. He is the, best student. Okay. So please hold your patience. So we covered till this point last week. Now we will continue with chapter 3. But everybody on the same page? It's very important for everybody to be on the same page. Otherwise, the next portions will not make sense. So now I have put this Q icon on some slides at the top right-hand corner. It means go through it quickly to remind myself, because I don't want to get behind. And there'll be some other icons that I have put, which will tell me some clues as to whether to spend more time or less time or have a discussion around it or what. So then Lord Krishna says that there are people who have perfected this path of Karma Yoga. One of the examples that he gives is of Janaka and other great men. And he gives his own example that even I perform my duty. Because if I don't, then people will say that, hey, this guy spoke Bhagavad Gita on one hand and he is not walking his talk. So even I perform my duty, even though I don't have any need to perform any duty. I am God. He doesn't say that yet in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna obviously knows that he is Krishna Bhagawan, he is God. But he makes just a subtle point that even though I do not have any duty to perform, others are performing the duty. I am the king. The king is just the king. He just directs other people to do things. He doesn't do anything himself. So he says, examples of Karma Yoga. There's a very interesting verse there which is very important, which says, Yadyad acharati shreshthas tattad evetaro janah. 21. So you can look at that. 3.21. Sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. So basically, it is the duty of the leaders to follow to walk their talk. So yad acharati shreshthas. Shrestha means the leaders. The shrestha means the superior or the better or the best. But the leaders of the society should at least walk their talk. Tad evetaro janaha. Then the people will follow. Today, what has happened is that leaders are saying, oh, that guy doesn't do this, that guy doesn't do that, why should I do? That's not a leadership quality. Leadership quality is to lead from the front, not from the back. If everybody is doing the right things, there's no need for a leader. The leader is needed to set an example. So that's just a small point to be made here. So take 1 minute. It's just 6 verses, 3.20 to 25. Just read the translations. Okay, somebody had raised their hand. I could take a question if there is still a question. Yes, you can go ahead with your question.
Yeah, so I just wanted a little bit more clarification on the Nis-kama Karma. Say you make a donation.
I want precision in questions. So not on Nis-kama Karma, please say Nis-kama Karma Yoga.
Okay, on the Nis-kama Karma Yoga. My question is, say you make a donation, right, to a non-profit, right, and you're not getting any benefit from that, right? Is that sort of an example of like a Nis-kama Karma Yoga?
Okay, so let's dissect that a little bit. People do get some benefit. You may not be the one, but in general, people get benefit out of donating money to a non-profit or whoever, to a poor person or something. They may get a tax benefit. That's point number 1. If not, they may get the benefit of some appreciation. Oh, he has donated. Nice. Thank you. If you donate to the non-profit itself may send you at least a small letter of appreciation. So the most important thing is, or finally, in your own heart. Oh, I donated. I'm a nice guy. I donate money. I'm not like my other friend, he never donates anything. I donate. Okay, so all these things are small, drops of honey that we like to lick. So all that makes it sakama. That's point number one. To a certain degree, there are layers. Okay. So, of course, I mean, if you are making a donation like politicians do, and then they expect votes. So that is a very big, sakama. But you may have some small sakama. Oh, you yourself feel good about it. So, but there are levels. But if one has done it complete, or some people may think, oh, next life I will get benefit. No, nothing in this life. Next life, even that is sakama. So, or I'll go to Swarga. All that counts as sakama. To the degree of kama. Kama, what is kama? Kama doesn't mean sex, or like kama is not Kama Sutra kama. Kama means attachments or something like, I want for me. That is kama. Kama can be used in a good sense also. In Srimad Bhagavatam, kama is used for Bhagawan. I have a strong attraction to go to Bhagawan, to go to Vaikuntha. That is also kama. Kama is just a desire or strong desire. The kama means the word strong has to be there. It's that intense. The intensity is more in the word kama. So even the devotees have strong kama for Bhagawan. It's not a bad word. Anyway, so to that degree, there is sakama. Okay. Now, if one has done a donation purely with absolute 100% selflessness means nothing for me, absolutely nothing for me, then at least that act can count as Nis-kama Karma. Okay. And if you have done it, now here's the yoga part. Where is the yoga part? We have to go with each thing. Then it is Nis-kama Karma if you just did it. But if you add the realization that I am a spirit soul, what is this money that I have, extra money? I earned it through my body. God, or I was given intelligence. The soul is all equal. Even a fool has the same soul as an intelligent person. Because I am intelligent, intelligence is part of the body, not of the soul. Mana Buddhi, Krishna will say in 7th chapter. Bhumir apa anala vayu kha mana buddhi ahankar ahankaram itiyam me bhinna prakritir ashtadha. These are the prakriti. This is material nature, 8 elements of material nature. So mana buddhi ahankar. Buddhi is there in that. Many people say is buddhi spiritual. Buddhi is very much material. So anyway, we were given this intelligence. We earned some money. So I am the spirit soul. It's not my money. Let me just give it as a matter of duty to somebody who will benefit from the money. Just give it. It's not mine. Give it. If done with that consciousness, that becomes Nis-kama Karma Yoga. Because now you are connecting with the soul, or at least with the spiritual consciousness. And how this becomes connecting with the Supreme, which we just said over here in this slide, will become clear, because soul is spiritual and Bhagawan is also spiritual. So when we first connect with our soul being spiritual, atma, then we can connect with Paramatma, who is the supreme spiritual soul, Paramatma. Paramatma is who? Bhagawan. Okay. So that is the connection. So I hope that was a long answer to your short question. I hope it was answered.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. There's another hand.
Yeah, Guruji. When you say like soul and body, like, two different entities, I'm just trying to connect the dots. Soul, like using the body, right? So whatever reaction you do by using this body, ultimately, that impacts to your soul, right? I mean, I didn't get this point.
So think about it. I hope you have reviewed or listened to all the previous classes carefully. Okay. And some things about the soul are going to be uncovered in some of the future chapters. So I would say I will give a brief answer, but hold your question or be with that. The soul is not the doer. Neither is the soul affected by the actions of our body. The soul is not enjoying either the actions of the body. Okay, it is the mind which is enjoying. Just now we took the example of one kind of enjoyment. What was the enjoyment we discussed? You give a donation, there's enjoyment, at least temporary. Feels good, nice. I did good thing today. If you went and made a donation, that day will go nicely. All day you will be thinking about it and you will be feeling good about yourself. That's enjoyment, isn't it? The mind is enjoying, or in a sense, we can say the body is enjoying, where the body includes the mind. The body is enjoying, the soul has no enjoyment there. What is enjoyment for the soul? We will come to it later. Otherwise, I'll just start telling the whole Bhagavad Gita myself, and then Krishna's Bhagavad Gita will be on the side. So we'll follow the sequence of Bhagavad Gita, not my Gita. Okay. So I hope at that level it answers the question. At least I told you that the soul is not the enjoyer, or when we do the actions, the soul is not impacted. Only it is the body. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So examples, 20 to 25 were examples. I hope you got that. Another quick point, from lower to higher consciousness. So by the way, in this whole discussion, consciousness is what matters. In that discussion about giving a donation, it's all in the consciousness. What is our consciousness? Oh, will I feel, I felt happy. I'm doing it for my happiness. Or I'm doing it for, my family will feel, my child will say, my dad is a good person, he makes donations. The external action may be exactly the same. It's our internal consciousness that makes all the difference between sakama and niskama and all that. That is clear, right? So our consciousness, you can call it with a looser word, attitude, mentality, our intention, motivation, whatever, but a very nice word is consciousness. That's our consciousness. Okay. 3.26. So in this verse, very quickly, from lower to higher, this is important, that an advanced karma yogi, we discussed two types, right? Nis-kama is an advanced karma yogi, sakama, or a complete person who is what I would call a jerk, doesn't pay his taxes at all, just wants to suck. We call such persons suckers. Where in this Bhagavad Gita it is given? 3.13, right? What does 3.13 say? Yagya shishta sinasanto muchyante sarva kilbishai bhunjate te agham papa ye pachanti atma karanat. So basically, who just suck. They're suckers, they just take and take and take and never give. That is what it is. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kind of sins because they eat food. This verse is about food. First, they offer it for sacrifice. Those who don't do that, agham papa, they're basically eating sin, which is basically stolen property. So they're all suckers who don't do it. So either you are a beginner or a complete materialist, ungrateful person. The advanced person never tries to lecture such a person. So don't be, Bhagavad Gita strongly denounces this concept of holier than thou. If you know Bhagavad Gita, or you are an advanced person, if you become a holier than thou person, are you understanding holier than thou? Like people have this mentality, right? If they know something or something, and if they find, oh, you don't know that? Oh, too bad. Or, oh, you are a very, very materialist person. Try to become spiritual. Come on. Kind of that condescending and, humiliating or insulting kind of a thing. So never do that. So try to engage and guide them properly. They say, okay, nice, set a good example and uplift them from where they are in a positive, inspiring way, rather than giving them a lecture. So that is very important. All of you are reading Bhagavad Gita. Don't go around now becoming a guru. Oh, little, in your little things. Oh, Bhagavad Gita says this, says that. Oh, you don't know that? Oh my God, too bad. Come, I will teach you. Not like that, okay? With a encouragement and inspiration. So Bhagavad Gita is anything but dry philosophy. It is very, very highly practical. So this is a very practical instruction. Okay, so please, pay attention to that. Now here comes an extremely important verse, 3.27. So please let us read. I will read it. Prakriteha kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvashah ahankara vimud atma karta aham iti manyate. Very important verse. Those who do our most advanced level course, which we call Bhakti Shastri, they are supposed to memorize this verse. This is one of the top 30-40 verses to be memorized in whole Bhagavad Gita. So what does it say? So I have put it on the slides, sort of the meaning or the summary. An ordinary person thinks that I am the only doer. Karta aham iti manyate. Manyate means he thinks like that I am the doer. Karta aham. And here the emphasis, I am the only doer. Aham. So this concept of aham, I did it. Okay. The results that are produced are by my efforts only. Such a person is called vimudha, mudha. You understand mudha means foolish, idiot. And this is because of his ahankar. Ahankara vimudhatma. Because of his ahankar, he is called a foolish. His ahankar is so high to the point of being completely foolish. So he's so much into this me. Have you seen such people? In your office also, the team does the work and one person goes and claims the credit. I did it. Don't you feel like, what a jerk? So like that. So the God's government is working for all our results. So here I put this little picture of a farmer. The farmer, the same example, the farmer can do the best job he can. One may have a very good crop, another may not have a good crop. Correct? So if he has a good crop, he cannot claim it was all my doing. That would be the, a very foolish thing to say. And if he says that, that is only due to his ahankar. So for all of us, we must realize, somebody may say, I'm a very smart guy. So who gave you the intelligence? So many children are born with some, kind of challenges, disability, this, that, and all that stuff. Or somebody may be intelligent, but may not have the sufficient resources and all that. So many factors can be there. May not get the proper guidance or something. Or maybe, on the most important day of their life, the test or something, they fell sick or something may happen. So the karma yogi, and this is why he realizes this, and this applies to even nis-kama Karma Yogi, he realizes this, that there are other factors. So that is said, prakrite kriyamanani. Prakriti means nature, which includes time and past karma and all those things. So prakriti, that word captures it. And guna, my past actions, my conditioning, those are also factors that have caused the results. So he realizes that, and therefore he acts as a karma yogi. And that depends on what level he acts as a karma yogi, sakama, nishkama, or there's a whole spectrum. But this is a very central verse which shows the mentality of a ordinary or a materialist, or a, as we called it, as a sucker. Others do the work and you claim all the credit. You following? So Krishna's Sanskrit word for a sucker is what? Mudha. And V means big one. In Sanskrit, whenever you add V, it puts an emphasis on the word. So Mudha, V Mudha, a big sucker. Okay? All right. So this is very, very important. Please understand this concept. Now, who produces, now this verse, these two are the most important verses from the standpoint of overall Bhagavad Gita, 30 to 32, and especially 30 and 31. 32 is the negative verse, the flip side. So we'll focus on first 30 and 31. Very, very important verses that focus on the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And the essence of Bhagavad Gita is Bhakti Yoga. These two verses hint towards Bhakti Yoga as to who produces all results. Okay. So in the farmer's case, we saw, for example, there is the rain, demigod of rain, Indra or Varuna, rivers. The rivers doesn't dry up, the water bodies, whatever, even the winds need to be favorable. So many things need to happen. But ultimately at the very top is Bhagawan, Krishna or Bhagawan Vishnu, same person, different names. So who produces all the results? The ultimate cause of everything is Krishna. Okay? Are you following? So in the 30th verse, which is very, very important, Krishna is saying Mai. So he says, he doesn't speak by his name. So he'll say I or me or mine. Arjuna has addressed Krishna so many times as Krishna. He will say I, me, mine. So Mai sarvani karmani sanyas adhyatma chetasa. So Mai sarvani karmani adhyatma sanyas adhyatma chetasa. So sanyas means to give up. So you don't just give up the work or the results of the work. Just now I said, how do you give up the results of your work? Give up, like just give them up. So it's not give them up. Give them up to whom? Mai. Mai means not me, to me. Mai means to me. Okay. So give it to me, because ultimately I am the cause of all the results. These devatas are my assistants. Ultimately I am the boss. Okay. So very clearly Krishna is saying who is the ultimate cause. And therefore, if he is the ultimate cause, we may think we are the cause. In this previous, somewhere we said, right? And our effort, nature, time, and our effort produces results. But where did our effort come from? Like we said, intelligence, I'm intelligent. Who gave the intelligence? In 7th chapter, Krishna says, Buddhi buddhimatam asmi. I am the buddhi of the buddhiman. That intelligence comes from Krishna. Balam balavatam chaham. I am the strength of the strong. So everything is coming from Krishna. Our strength, our intelligence, whatever good things we have to be able to produce anything is coming from him. In 1 second, it could go away. So basically, we have no capacity to produce anything. Whatever capacity we produce, we are just like a, employee. We have been, employee is given the tools to produce in the factory. Using those tools, he manufactures the output. Does employee say, oh, this is my product, I get to set the price for this? No, he doesn't. The boss gets to set the price, he gets to do whatever, and he gets the profits, because he has provided all the tools and all the things for the employee to do the work. So all the things have been given to us by Bhagawan. We are just producing that. Now, it's not like a boss and employee relationship. It's more like a father and son relationship. Okay. So it's not like a hard taskmaster. I gave you the tools, give me back all the results. Not like that. He's very kind. He's like a father. But the reality is this. He is the ultimate creator and maintainer. He has created us. Every good thing, all capacity to produce anything good has come from him. And he is maintaining us. Therefore, he says, Mai sarvani karmani sannyasa adhyatma chetasa. He will also tell what is the benefit of doing this, by the way. He's not a, taskmaster only. I am the boss, give me all your profit or whatever your product. So that is first point. So therefore, what he's saying is we should offer all our results to him. So it's not just relinquishing the results, but offer it to him. Now, hopefully it makes a little more sense. How do you just relinquish the results? No, you're not supposed to relinquish the results. That means you're seeing half the movie or first movie and then you left. Oh, how do I relinquish? The later part of the explanation said you're not supposed to relinquish, give it to Bhagawan. There's a very nice analogy. Please pay attention. Tidding. Attention time. There's a very nice analogy about this, okay? If you find a wallet on the road and you pick up the wallet, and so we'll see the distinction between a sucker, a Nis-kama Karma Yogi, and a bhakta. Okay. So what will a sucker do? He'll look around, nobody's looking, put the wallet in his own pocket and walk away. That's a sucker. Okay. The next level is a Nis-kama Karma Yogi. Okay. So he will see the wallet. What will he say? Oh, this is not mine. It's not my wallet. Niskama. This example doesn't have sakama. Okay. Niskama. I can make up a sakama, but I don't want to destroy the example. But please try to get the point. Okay. Nis-kama Karma Yogi will say, like a spirit soul, I am the spirit soul. Only the body produced the result, so I don't have any right on the result. So he will say, oh, this wallet is not mine. He will see open a lot of money, but he'll put it back and walk away. That is Nis-kama. Okay. A bhakta will do what? He will also, there's ID card in the wallet. So he'll say, oh, this person's wallet is lost. It belongs to this person. He will go to that address and he will give the wallet back to the owner. So who is the best among the three? The bhakta. If it was your wallet, you would acknowledge the third person. If it was the Nis-kama guy and then later on said, yeah, I found a wallet over there. So why the hell didn't you pick it up and bring it back to me? Why did you leave it there? Wouldn't you say that if it was yours? So that is the difference between this example very nicely brings out the difference between Nis-kama karma. Both are spiritual. Sakama, you can say, okay, whatever, he took some money out of it or whatever. I don't want to go there. But many people get confused between Nis-kama Karma Yoga and bhakti. That is what is being said here. Mai, please, all your work, sarvani karmani, offer back the results to me, because, he doesn't say that because everything is given by me. Krishna is not saying that. But that is for us to understand that everything is being given by Krishna. Whatever we are getting, we are finding so many wallets around us. Everything is given by Krishna. We go back and give it to him. Okay, then Krishna may be so nice, he will say, oh, you found the wallet, here, you keep the money, take the money. He's so nice, he will say, you take the money. But if he gives it out of his own choice, then it's legal. Then we are not a sucker. We did our job of fully. We had no desire that when we give it back to him, we'll get some profit. We'll get some tip. We didn't have any desire. He may give, but Krishna is such a kind father. He says, oh, nice. Keep all the money. You found it, take it. I have a lot of money, but thank you for bringing it back. That is bhakti. Are you following? Okay, so that is what is being said. And then he says, nir-asi. Very important. Nir-asi. Asha means, you know what? Desire. Nir-asha. Without any desire. So you're not taking it back to him, say, maybe he will give something to me. Very important. So no desires. You give it back with the full intention that you will not get back anything. Nir-asi. So no desires for me. I am just a good, nice son. I found it, I'll give. Nir-asi, nir-mamo. Nothing is mine. Nir-mama, mama. Mama. Everything is mine. Mera, mine. That's how we live. Nir-mama. Without any feeling of mam and aham, me and mine. Like this, bhutva, yudhyasva vigata jwara. Like this you fight or do your duty. Are you following? So like this we have to act. Is it clear? Is it too much over the head? Not at all, right? Should be understandable, correct? This is not some very complex quantum mechanics. Very nice. Then we'll go to the next verse.
So is niskama is relinquishing the results, and bhakti is offering the results to God.
Exactly. Yes, 100%. You got it. Okay. And both are spiritual because God is spiritual. Okay. And again, the consciousness is different. You are giving it back to God with the full realization that He is our creator and maintainer. In sakama, you are only giving part of the results so that the benefits keep coming. Please read 3.10 to 3.16 again if you have a doubt. That cycle is there of cooperation. It's like paying the taxes. If I keep paying the taxes, I will keep getting the benefits. If I stop paying taxes, I will stop getting the benefits. Okay, so consciousness is different. If that consciousness comes and you give even to Krishna, it becomes sakama. Just because you gave it to Krishna doesn't mean it's bhakti. You have to think what consciousness I'm giving it with. Oh, I'm giving it to Krishna so that he keeps, giving back to me. Then it is 100% sakama. There is nothing nishkama. There is nothing bhakti in it. Please be very clear. Many people go to Krishna temple, give $1 and give a long wish list. Okay, exam, good husband, good wife, good child, green card, car, promotion, house, everything. All for $1. To Krishna. Is that sakama or is that nishkama or is that bhakti? I would say it is a sucker. All right. So it's not, at least he's going to Krishna. Okay, sucker. Again. So, but we must do it with a pure heart. Next one, 31. Ye me madam itam. So anyway, so the translation is those persons who execute their duties according to my injunction. So yeah, let's focus on this. Ye me madam matam idam. So mata means my instructions, my direction. Mera ye mat hai. I am saying this. Okay. So nityam anutishtanti manavaha. Very important words are there. I want to drive these home. This is how we go into all the verses in the long class. But since this is a very important verse, even in this short class, we are going into detail in this verse, these two verses. So, ye me matam idam, those who follow my instructions. When? Once in a while?
All the time.
Where is it written?
Nityam.
Nityam. Very nice. Nityam means what? Always. Follow my instructions. Anutishtanti means those who always follow. My dear Arjuna, is this meant for Arjuna? Who is it meant for? Manavaha. Bhagavad Gita is for Manavaha. Just today I was listening to someone making a point who he heard from someone else. Oh, Arjuna, Bhagavad Gita was meant for Arjuna 5,000 years ago. How does it apply to us? It's bogus, irrelevant. If you are Manavaha today, it applies to you. Are you all Manavaha? Or you have become Pashu? You have become like Pashu. So as long as you claim you are a Manava, Bhagavad Gita applies. So another very important, point. Krishna is not saying, Ye me madam itam nityam anutishtanti Arjuna. He could have very well said that, Arjuna, meant for you. Of course, he says that at other places, but clearly shows it is meant for all of us, not just for Arjuna. Manavaha. So that is another point. All of humanity should always, nityam, follow me matam, his instructions. Where do we find his instructions? Do you have his instructions? Where? All of you have it in your hands. That's his instructions. So very clearly, how much more clearly can he say? And how you have to follow? Shraddhavanto. With Shraddha. What is the meaning of Shraddha? This is an important question. No. Devotion, not really.
Fully trust.
Who said that? Somebody said.
Shikha.
Thank you. Fully trust. Faith is a nice word. Another word is conviction. You believe, or faith, Shraddha. In the bracket I have put here, it will work. It will work. Okay? Now, actually speaking, in your own day-to-day life, you put so much faith in so many things. So many things. We put our faith. What are some examples where we put our faith? So what is, first let me just dissect. Faith means you don't know whether it will turn out the way you want it to, or the way you expect, or the way you think. It could go any way. Okay? But based on various factors, maybe other people said, yes, this works. Maybe you have had past good experience. Like if you go to a doctor, you have faith on your doctor, isn't it? Doctor says, you need surgery. Now, if it's a new doctor, you may get a second opinion, third opinion. If all of them say you need surgery, that builds your faith on the overall doctor body, the body of doctors, right? Then you can go to one of the doctors and get surgery. So that's how you may build faith. Or this one doctor you have is your family doctor from long time. You have been seeing him. He says, don't you believe him? Now, having a surgery is not an easy thing. I mean, it's a big decision. You may die maybe on the surgery, on the table, on the operation table. But you move forward, isn't it? And so many places you put your faith. So many places we put our faith. Don't we put our faith on this device, iPhone? Huh? Don't you put your bank password in it? What if Apple were to steal your password and take all your money? Huh? Now there is faith. You have faith in the system also. Maybe if it does, tomorrow we can sue them. Whatever you have, but you have collective faith. You don't have any inherent guarantee that something like that won't happen. So there are systems in place, but the point is there is faith. Everywhere there is faith. So like that, we have to move forward with Bhagavad Gita. We will never get a 100% guarantee. So we have to have faith on Bhagawan Krishna. that yes, it works. He is Bhagawan. He knows better than I know. Let me do what he is saying. And you can be like a doctor, like you build your faith in the doctor. You can be like that. Try Krishna's words for small things in your life. I guarantee you, you will experience his reciprocation. I mentioned it in previous class, I think also. I guarantee you. Sincerely do that. Okay? And that faith will start to build. That happened. Now you will be motivated to do more of what he's saying in Bhagavad Gita. So like that, build your faith. But till you take the first step, do something, how will you build the faith? You keep going to the doctor, he keeps giving you prescription. You never took one medicine. You will never know whether the doctor was right or wrong. Okay? So Shraddha. And what is the result? Muchyante te api karmabhihi. The result is muchyante karmabhihi, freedom from all reactions. So that is the result of offering it to Bhagawan. It is not the same as offering it to demigods or devatas. You will get free from the reactions, completely free. He's saying that muchyante te karmabhihi. Muchyante means freedom. The root is like mut, which is the root of moksha also. Freedom, liberation. From karmabhihi means the reactions. Are you following? Everybody on the same page? Anything too complicated here? Okay, so 30 and 31. Now this brings some sense of what is Nis-kama Karma Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga and Nis-kama Karma Yoga are almost the same. Almost the same. There is slight difference. And whenever you are confused, think of the wallet example. Very nice example. People many times get confused. Is this Nis-kama Karma Yoga or what is Bhakti Yoga? So it's not just renouncing the results, but offering the results to Bhagawan. Either way you are renouncing. But it's not just leaving it on the street. Actually taking it and giving it to Bhagawan. Okay? How to give, what exactly? Again, if you have any such questions, please wait till we reach 7th, 8th, 9th chapters. There, Bhagavan Krishna will go very deeply into how exactly to offer the results to him. And then what he does in return, and that whole sort of relationship interaction between Jiva and Bhagavan will be described. Are you following? And then in 32, he says the flip side. If one doesn't do that, those who out of envy disregard these teachings and do not follow them regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled and ruined in their endeavors for perfection. Nashtan achetasaha. Everything is destroyed. Destroyed means it's not like it will be taken away. This is not a threat. Destroyed in the sense, then you will remain in this cycle, entangled in the material world, where everything one day will be taken away from you. Then it will be given again, then it will be taken away because of our desires, not because he is keeping us in a jail or something like that. This also concept will evolve slowly. Bhagavan is not a punisher. We only have chosen, I want this, I want this, I want this. And we are never satisfied. And then we encroach on other people's property for our to satisfy our desires, and we get ourselves in trouble. So it's a very, very slippery slope of greed. And that slippery slope only leads to destruction. So if you don't give it to Bhagavan, everything will anyway be taken away, and you will, at death is the ultimate, taker. Okay, so that is the meaning. Okay, so we will advance to 34 and 35. And again, there's you can see a quick Q icon. So it's a summary of sort of one or a reminder of an important point which was covered earlier. The point is, do not under-regulate, do not over-regulate. So 34 is saying do not under-regulate, which means that regulate your sense desires. Curb your sense desires, which has been discussed all along quite a bit so far. Do not be attached to sense gratification too much. Now, this is different from fulfilling basic needs, by the way. This will be covered in chapter 4 and later chapters also, but first instance will come in chapter 4. It's okay to maintain your body. You say, oh, you cannot just say, oh, I'm feeling hungry, but hunger is just a bodily thing. I won't feed myself. Don't do that. Or, oh, my child, he wants to go to school, or he wants, whatever, that's just a body. Next life, who knows whether he will be my child or whatever may happen. So why do I have to take care of my child? Not like that. So there is a difference between need versus greed. We must not excessively run after our sense desires. That is, hold on. So that is, don't under-regulate. Okay. And the next verse is saying, which is more important, those who come to Bhagavad Gita classes, or they get very excited and want to over-regulate. Oh, from tomorrow, I'm going to become a sannyasi. So do not, because most likely you will end up being a pretender. Mithyachar, 3.6. Because you won't be able to do it. But somehow you will be attached to that notion, no, I have to do it. Because that is like the cool thing. I am a Bhagavad Gita follower. So don't try to be someone you are not. Be genuine. Be sincere. Another word of genuine, sincere, honest. They're all kind of synonyms. Okay. Even unknowingly, don't be somebody who you are not. Even unknowingly, which means like, it's not like you're like trying to show off to others. Even unknowingly, which means don't chew more than, or don't bite more than you can chew. Don't be unrealistic. Are you following? So all these points are included in 35. Don't over-regulate. Oh, from tomorrow, I'm going to follow every word Krishna said, what is that? Ye me matam idam nityam. Oh my God. Every moment. Take it gradually. Pick small things. Start small. You just joined the gym. Don't try to lift 100 pounds. Start with 5 pounds and build yourself. Commit yourself to gradual, constant, consistent progress. Okay. One day will come when you will lift 100 pounds. But not today. So don't over-regulate. Don't be a pretender. Don't be unrealistic. Don't be somebody who you are not. Be honest. Be sincere. Acknowledge where you are. Look in your heart. It requires some thinking, some contemplation. Acknowledge where you are. Try to take steps from where you are in a genuine manner. I have over-explained. You following? So that is 3.35. Yes, you had a question.
Yeah, it says the raga and dwesha. So raga is attachment, that you are not doing anything over or under action. What about dwesha? Like it's like the saying that people say, don't hate anything too much or something like that.
Exactly. Exactly. So
In 34 there is a
yeah. So hating dwesha is for some troubles.
Oh,
So why is this happening to me? Why is this happening? Or too much attachment. When we say do not be attached to sense gratification, it includes both raga and dwesha. Our sense gratification comes from wanting things that we desire and getting rid of things that are undesirable. A combination of both we want. Okay. We want friends who will always praise us, and we want to get rid of friends or who are, who we don't like. So there is desire is simply hatred is simply a opposite or a desire flipped. Any kind of hatred is actually a desire. Think about it. Desire for the opposite of what you are hating. Okay. We hate a disease. Why is this happening to me? Which means we have an attachment to a good, healthy body. Okay. You may hate your boss, which means there is a desire or attachment to a good boss or no boss. Free, bindas. Okay. So hatred is just the flip side of some kind of a attachment that we have to, because we get the opposite of it, we begin hating it. Okay. So now there's a D icon here, which means we'll have a little discussion on this. So is it still available? All of you can see the screen on Zoom, right? Yes. Okay, thanks. So Arjuna's all important question. It's a very, very important question. Again, the word is Purushaha. Manavaha, Purush, not Purusha also, Purusha. Purusha means men, plural. Now it applies to strees also, but it's like, a word like Manava, Purush. So that word is also there. Purushaha means it's for men or people. So why are people attracted to sinful actions? Papam. How many of you have that question? Now, after reading Bhagavad Gita, and many of you know also in general, what are the laws, what are good things, bad things, what is right, what is wrong, Still people do these sinful actions. Yeah. Sometimes even unwillingly, anichan. They don't want to, but they end up doing it. As if by force, bala deva niyojitaha. As if somebody else forced them to. Who is that somebody else? Sometimes it happens out of an impulse, or some, as they say, we say, fit of anger, or in a fit of whatever. I ended up. So I am asking some of these questions, like, please try to see if you see yourself in this kind of, or you've seen this yourself in this situation ever. Sometimes we know an action to be, now you may not do pap. Pap means like we just say sinful. Oh, I have not killed anybody. That is pap. Or I haven't like stolen from anybody. I haven't, but some actions, papa is, could have some lower, various kind of pap is there. So some action which you consider to be unworthy. If somebody saw you doing it, you would not feel good about yourself. If you were caught, as they say, what do you say? A liar or a criminal is only the one who gets caught. Everybody is a holy cow, isn't it? So, but you are always seeing yourself. At least And of course, Krishna knows. So sometimes we know an action to be unworthy, unbecoming, lowly, isn't it? Not necessarily criminal or illegal, but just, even, somebody, by mistake, just cut you on the road, and you yelled out like 5 words at him. And then you feel like, what a, and your child was sitting in the back, let's say. What an example I'm setting to my child. Why did I do that? Isn't it? Something as simple as that. But we end up doing it, and then we either regret or at least feel some sense of shame or guilt or lowliness, isn't it? Unbecomingness. Has that happened to anybody? Okay, everybody in the room raised their hands. Okay, many people. Okay, thank you. So do you see yourself in this? So for most people, the answer is yes. Why does that happen? That is the question. Why does it happen? Any answers? Why it happens? Okay.
Is it because we have not turned into bhakti yet?
Okay. Okay, now but I'm asking for the root diagnosis. What you are saying is because I haven't taken the medicine, but before that, so bhakti is like the medicine. I'm at one level before that. Yes, that may be true.
Attachments, identity.
Okay, very nice. And on the Zoom, I don't want this to be a class for only the in-person people. Zoom participants are equally important, and there are actually more of you on Zoom than in the room.
Sense gratification.
Sense gratification. Okay, just shout out if you have one word answer.
I think because it's Kali Yuga.
Okay, but what in Kali Yuga? Sure.
Ignorance.
Okay, ignorance. One word answer.
Expectations,
Sorry.
because you expect something, expectation.
Expectations. Okay.
Our previous karmas.
Previous karmas. Okay.
Previous life.
Previous karmas could be good also. Good karma also. You may have done some very good karma also. In that case, you may become a good person in this life and not commit these unworthy actions. Anyway. Okay, so let us see what is Lord Krishna's answer. So this is Arjuna's question. Okay, so Arjuna's question is, I will read the translation. Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, so that is another name for Lord Krishna, Varshneya.
What's the name exactly?
Descendant of Vrishni. So in the Yadu dynasty, Krishna was born in Yadu dynasty. Bhagawan is never born. You can go watch our videos on the Srimad Bhagavatam or read Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna he just appeared. Prakat ho gaye, we say, Prakat hona and antardhan hona. So he appears and disappears. So he doesn't take birth as such, like we took birth. But anyway, in that, for other people who didn't know the secret of how Krishna was born, he was born in the Yadu dynasty. One of them is Vrishni. That's why Krishna is called Varshneya. So that's the word that is used here. Anichhanapi Varshneya Baladiva Niyojitaha. So that's the translation, is a literal translation. So Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? That's the question. So let us see what is Lord Krishna's answer. So you remember this slide? I have just copy pasted the exact slide from 2nd chapter, where it said Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. I told you this is a very important concept. So I have grayed out everything else. Everything else is gray. And I have put a magnifying glass on Raga. Now, Kama is just so all of you who said attachments or Kama or anything related to that, you're all correct. That is the root. So I have put that attachments. So this is a very important concept, Raga or Kama, and then Bhaya and Krodha. So, but let me just kind of, since it is there on the slide, I want to explain. Kama means our strong attachments are there. Now, this we had discussed in the very beginning, which, by the way, comes from our identity. But we have our attachments. Identity may be a little harder to diagnose for us. It will be easier to diagnose when we come into bhakti, when we come into later chapters. But right now, identity means only you are a spiritual being rather than man or woman or American or Indian or rich or poor or white or black or, whatever, engineer or janitor. All these are bodily designations. Remember that Subhash Chandra Bose's discussion. British versus Indian. So, why did I say that? Yeah, the identity. Thank you. So, attachments are easier to diagnose. Okay. Bodily identity is also easy to diagnose. The spiritual identity is the one that is hard to diagnose. So right now, just identify yourself. I'm not the body, the opposite of who you are. We identify ourselves as the body. Just know that you are not this body. You are actually a atma, a spiritual person who, whenever you happen to go to the spiritual world, you will have a spiritual body. That is your real identity, spiritual identity. But we don't know that yet. That's a very complex concept, and we will cover it much later in Bhagavad Gita. But attachments are easy to diagnose. Okay. And those attachments, when they are fulfilled, then it leads to bhaya. Bhaya of what? Bhaya means fear of losing those. And when they are unfulfilled, it leads to frustration, and which is a higher form. If I tone up the frustration, it becomes anger. Starts with frustration and results in anger. So that is the whole, this whole diagram is showing. But what is the root? What is the origin? No, okay. At this level, attachment. Yes, the identity is the real, the material identity is the origin. But we will just stay with attachment. Are you following? Everybody on the same page? That is what Lord Krishna says. And the English translation for kama is lust. And here, obviously, the kama is material kama. Material kama is translated as lust. Lust for anything that is material. And Bhagawan says there are three main categories of lust. What are the three main categories of lust? And you left out the most important one. Sex. Let's put it straight away. Dhanam, janam, sundarim. Dhanam, what did you say? Money. Janam means power. Jana, number of followers. That is power. What is power? How many people follow you? Followership. Okay. And sundarim means attraction to the opposite gender.
Okay, so it applies for both men and women.
Of course. Yes. Women don't get a free pass. Okay. So that is lust. So it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. So out of krodha comes sin. Bhaya is not that much sin. Maybe there is sin in bhaya, in defending, but more of it comes in when you don't get it, then you blame somebody. Or when you get it and somebody takes it from you. Then also there is krodha. But when you don't get it to begin with, or you got it temporarily and it was taken away, it's the same thing as not getting. You got it temporarily, but ultimately you didn't get it. Basically, you find somebody to blame, isn't it? And then you go and commit sinful action. Are you following? So the question was about sin. Why is one compelled to perform sinful action? Because of that flow of logic. Are you following? From lust to frustration or anger of not being able to fulfill that lust, and then taking it out on someone, which is sinful action. Not too hard, right? You can see yourself in this sometimes. That is Bhagavad Gita so far. Okay. So lust is this Very strong attachments, very strong. So when last concept we will cover and see if there are questions. So we're gonna, it is 6:30. So another 5 minutes we'll wrap up. If you have questions, please be ready to raise your hands or something. And if there are no questions, I have 4th chapter slides also prepared. We can start 4th chapter. So we'll make full use of the time. No worries. So let me finish this. Let me see how many slides. Yeah, 2 more slides and we are done. So lust means strong attachments. And I'm just going to summarize some of these last few verses of 3rd chapter. There are several layers of lust. Okay, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail and all that, but there are various layers, some strong root attachments, then some mind derivative attachments from there and so on. There's a spelling mistake here. Whoops, what happened? Pursuits. So, do you still see this sharing? Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Pursuits. The main point is this of Bhagavad Gita. Some people teach this. There was this one famous person called Osho. You might have heard here in Oregon itself. So he was, one of his teachings was, as far as I have read, I have not obviously read any deeply about what he taught, and I'm not interested either. Oh, if you have any desires, go fulfill those desires. And when they are done, then you will be free and you can focus on your spiritual life. Like, like as if the fire is burning, let it burn. It will extinguish after some time. And then you can do your spiritual journey. That's just the wrong understanding. In 39th verse, Lord Krishna is saying that this eternal enemy in the form of lust is never satisfied and it always burns like fire. Always burns. So it is never satisfied by material pursuits. Material pursuits means pursuing those desires, which means fulfilling those desires is actually like putting oil into the fire. If you keep putting oil, you think you're trying to extinguish it by putting water. But by pursuing those desires, you're actually putting fuel. Will the fire ever extinguish? It will actually become more and more bigger. So it is never, oh, I have these desires. Let me, okay. Once after 60, after retirement, I will take to Bhagavad Gita. All my desires will be done when I'm 60. Many people say that. One of my relatives, he gifted a Bhagavad Gita on a retirement party to his boss. His boss became angry. What the hell do you mean? This is the time I'm retired, but I'm not old. What do you think? I'm old guy? Give me Bhagavad Gita after another 15 years. I have a very strong, healthy life to live. He got angry at him. So, thinking that there will be some point in time when our material desires will be all done is just a fallacy. Now, Lord Krishna describes how our mind works. So, mind is very important, and that will be so just to conclude, and this is like your, again, in movies, like post-credit scenes you might have seen sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? Or like they show a small glimpse of what's coming in the next episode too. So Lord Krishna gives this mind. It has already been covered, but how to control the mind. So mind is the source, not the soul. Somebody may be under this impression, soul, or soul wants to commit sinful activities. No, it's not the soul. It's the mind which has overpowered the soul. Please understand this. It will be covered later in Bhagavad Gita as well. The mind can overpower the soul. A very nice example is this. Okay, you take a taxi cab or Uber or Lyft or whatever, right? When you tell the Uber guy where to go, if he takes you there, are you happy or sad? happy. Okay, he did what I wanted. But if that guy, the Uber guy, asks you to shut up or puts a gun at you and takes you somewhere wherever he wants, then are you happy or you're sad? Sad, mad, whatever, right? Okay, so the Uber driver is like the mind, and the passenger in the back is the soul. The soul has a desire. I want to go here or there. If the mind is in control of the soul, if it listens to the soul will be happy. But if that guy goes corrupt, he stops listening to the desires of the soul and he takes wherever he wants, then the soul will be unhappy and he will go wherever he wants. So whose desires are actually at work in that case? The drivers or whatever, the mind. So the mind also has desires. So the soul's desire is always pure. We will cover this again later. Soul's desire is to go to Krishna. Soul has given Krishna's address. Take me, my dear driver, take me there. But the driver has become corrupt. He says, no, I'm not going to take you to Krishna. I'm going to take you to Las Vegas. Okay?
California.
So the mind drives the intelligence. And the intelligence then controls the senses. This is the corrupted case. Okay? So the mind begins to tell the intelligence. And then what is the job of intelligence? Intelligence's job, the real job of the intelligence, buddhi. So mind is mana, intelligence is buddhi. So those are the Sanskrit terms you will see in the Bhagavad Gita. A corrupted mind basically presents his corrupt desires to the intelligence, or he has these desires. Intelligence's job is to get there in a proper way. So he says, okay, you want to commit the sinful act? I'll come up with all these ways to commit the sinful act and not get caught and, be successful. If the thief wants to steal, he wants to be successful in stealing. What's the point of trying to steal and then fail in stealing? A lot of hard work for no benefit, isn't it? So the intelligence helps to come up with the plans to be successful in that corrupted pursuit. Are you following? And the senses then execute it. They are just like a machinery. The intelligence is pressing the buttons. The senses, our Gyanendriyas and Karmendriyas, the acting senses like the hands, legs, mouth, and Gyanendriyas, the ones that they are just like a input-output devices. They are just machinery. They are robotic arms. They are performing the action. Okay? That is what is being said. So ultimately, the mind presents the desires and the intelligence comes up with the plans, which means that mind has his own desires and intelligence has become a slave. So that is mentioned here. So does your mind, so these are the last two verses. So please look in your life and see, does your mind control and direct your intelligence? Is intelligence a slave of the mind? Now the job of the intelligence, what is the job of intelligence? To know right versus wrong. Even for a bad desire, it will know how to correctly execute the bad desire. If you want to commit a robbery, intelligent robber is successful. A foolish robber will get caught. He will go in broad daylight when the guards are looking, and then he will get caught. So that's a foolish. That means he has no intelligence. So intelligence also can guide the mind. This is the important part. It is intelligence which can tell the mind, my dear mind, this is not the right thing. I may make you successful in this bad, sinful desire, but ultimately it's gonna cost you. Ultimately, you are going to have to pay the price. Maybe not in this life, in the next life, and so on. So that means then mind begins to listen to the intelligence. But what happens in most of our cases, those are the questions I said, is the intelligence a slave of the mind, or is the mind in control of our intelligence? It could be the other way around also. If mind is in control of the intelligence, that means the mind can be brought back on track from corrupt state to a honest or a genuine state. So intelligence has a big role to play. That is the point. So can we control the mind with our intelligence? Answer is yes. With intelligence, we can control the mind. But what is that intelligence based on? We said intelligence is to distinguish right versus wrong. How does the intelligence know what is right versus wrong? That is the question. What do you think?
Your moral compass.
Moral compass. Okay. What is moral compass? For the Britishers, again, going back to Subhash Chandra Bose conversation, if you ask the Britishers, moral, yes, oppress the Indians. They will. How do you define that? Do you see? It may be very easy. Some of the very straightforward, or don't kill someone, or moral. There are so many ethical issues. I can name you 20,000 ethical issues. I just said in the last class or something, go and look at all the Supreme Court cases. They are the most complex ethical issues that face society. That's why you need not one judge, but 9 judges. One guy also may not be able to put it all together. And ultimately, we depend on a vote. These are complex issues. So which moral compass? Where is the moral compass? Anybody else? Where is the moral compass? Where do we know what is how can we tell our intelligence what is right versus wrong? Come on, it's not that difficult an answer.
Reading scriptures.
Okay. Who answered that?
Not doing something that you don't want others to do.
Okay, not doing
Things that you don't want others to do to you.
Okay, but in complex cases, that will break down.
Spiritual identity of Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, so answer is moral compass as defined in this book. This is our moral compass. Whoever said scriptures, yes. So therefore, study of the scripture is important to know what is right and wrong. Then our intelligence, so tomorrow or day after or in the rest of your life, if you seriously study Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam and so on, you will know what is right versus wrong, even in very complex situations. And then it is a matter of training your mind. At least your intelligence knows what is right and wrong. Our mind is very, it's a very strong and bad guy. So then it comes to training the mind. But scriptures can definitely 100% tell. And this topic will be very strongly told in the 16th chapter. At the end of the 16th chapter. Open the last time when we go to 16.24. 16th chapter. Yeah, we are making a very big jump from 3rd chapter to 16th chapter. The first line is exactly that. Are you there? 16.2. If you missed the orientation class, I had told you how to find the words quickly. Tasmat shastram pramanam te karya akarya vyavasthito. Based on shastra pramana, one decides karya akarya, what to do and what not to do. Vyavasthito means to make that decision or determination. So Shastra says, Karya Akarya Vyavasthita. So you'll have to wait till the 16th chapter to get there, but that is the one which guides our intelligence. So there we will stop. Next, we will start with the 4th chapter. Questions? Okay. You have a question in the room. In the meantime, you can raise your hands if you have questions on Zoom. And use the raise hand button. Don't raise your hand in the video, because when you raise your hand in the button, it puts it in the sequence of who raised their hand first. Go ahead.
So in chapter 3, text 27.
1 second. Let me turn this so that everybody can listen. Go ahead.
Okay. In chapter 3, text 27, it says the spirit soul bewildered with influence of false ego thinks himself the doer of activities that are actually carried out by the 3 modes of material nature. Does that mean that whatever you do is connected by the 3 modes? So whether you do bad, sin, or good, and the good karma or bad karma you get is all dependent on the 3 modes?
Do you know what the 3 modes are, by the way? That's the first question.
So that means
Okay, so the 3 modes is an expansion of the word guna. We have not discussed that yet. But what we did discuss was this, that the karma yogi knows that what produces results is a combination of all these things. So it is prakriti and guna. Nature, time, past karma, etc., our conditioning, which is our past karma, and our present efforts produces the results. So now what is your question? So based on our conditioning, one may be a sinful person. He may commit sinful actions. If person is good, he will commit or he will do pious actions. And there also, his intention and his doing is only part of it. Even to commit sinful actions, there has to be other things that come together for you to commit sinful action. One may have, just like a farmer who is trying to do a pious action, let's say planting the seed is a pious action, producing a crop. Not everything is in his hands. We discussed that example. Similarly, let's say you want to, commit some sinful action. You may do your part, but it may not go as planned. Other things may happen which may prevent the sinful action from occurring. Okay? Like that, there was some aeroplane bomber or something, he was trying to press the button, but the remote control didn't work, or it had a dead battery or something. Something happened and the plane did not blow up. He did everything or something, whatever. So you may want to commit even a sinful action, but other things may cause the sinful action to. So it doesn't just hold good for good things, it even holds for bad things. Other questions?
The way you explain the mind and intelligence, right? And how
The last portion.
Should control the other, not the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to think about intelligence and atma? How do you say those are related, or what do you think of that?
So the question, I hope everybody got it on the Zoom. We showed the relationship between mind and intelligence. What is the relationship between intelligence and soul? So the relationship is between soul and mind. Intelligence is just the sort of the successful planner. So he basically is given the desire, go, I want this. And the intelligence then figures out a way. So the soul has desire and the mind has desires. The question is whose desire supersedes the other. And the supersede only comes when they are misaligned. That's when you have to choose between one or the other. If Papa says this and Mama says something else, then the child has to choose. What is the best for the child?
Mom and dad are separate.
Mom and dad say the same thing. Then there's no choice to be made. Happy, I'm good. I'll just have to do one thing and the whole family is happy. So the best situation for the intelligence is if the mind and the soul, the mind's desires are aligned with the soul. The soul's desire never change. The soul's desire is fixed. The nature of the soul is fixed. There's a variety in the desire, but ultimately the desire is spiritual. I want to connect with Krishna. Hold on. Okay. And if the mind can be trained. Mind can be molded. It's like clay. So it can be molded misaligned or aligned. So if the mind is aligned with the soul's desire, ultimately then the intelligence's plan is how to make that happen. So if, let's say, your mind said, no, I really want to make spiritual progress. And then you saw this poster, oh, there's a Bhagavad Gita class. Now your intelligence said, okay, let me schedule it. Let me, I have this other thing on Sunday. Let me, reschedule it to Saturday. What else can I do? Your intelligence told you how to, do other things so that you can read Bhagavad Gita. But the desire was that I want to read Bhagavad Gita, which is also aligned with the desire of the soul, because Bhagavad Gita tells us how to connect with Krishna. There may be other people who say, what is this Bhagavad Gita? Screw it.
But if you say that intelligence should control mind, does it mean
Not control, guide.
guide? But even if it's a guide, right? So does it also mean that intelligence is able to know what soul wants?
That exactly, intelligence should know the right versus wrong,
Okay.
or the right kind of desires versus the wrong kind of desires. And the input to the intelligence is the scriptures. But intelligence only it has a guiding capacity. It's like an advisor to the president. President can do whatever he wants. Advisor will then say, okay, too bad. I gave the right advice to the president, but he told me to do something, so I have to do that now. Okay. I mean, we see that in our life also, when the morning alarm rings, intelligence says you should get up. There's the right thing to do or whatever. But the mind comes up with all kinds of reasons. Oh, it's okay. Or immediately, comes up with, oh, I can say this, I can say that. It's okay. Whatever, you get the point. Okay, anything else? So again, stay with the course from Bhagavad Gita. You will get to understand how the intelligence feeds or should feed the mind. What are the correct things to feed to the mind, to train the mind. Mind can be trained. Mind is a trainable creature. That is why mind is equated to an elephant, not a tiger. Elephant and tiger are equally powerful, isn't it? Sometimes one wins, sometimes the other. But have you ever seen a tiger lifting logwood in the forest? No. Tiger by nature is not trainable. Have you seen a mad elephant? I hope not. A mad elephant can knock down the tree. Can it? But can it help to carry the tree in logwoods and all? What kind of an elephant can help to carry the logwood? A trained elephant. So have you ever seen a trained tiger? No. Therefore, mind is very powerful. If untrained, it could be like the tiger, but it is trainable. And with proper training, it can become a friend. That is going to come in chapter 6. Yes, sir.
Going back to how you pointed out that in this chapter that it's about very practical things. Just a question about money, power, and lust of kama is never satisfied by pursuing them. But then when you're working, you want a promotion, or you want a pay raise, or if you're a student, you want to get a good grade or get into a good college. how do you differentiate between the pursuits that are okay because, you know, some things you need to have or maybe is appropriate, but then there's a line, where is that line between ceaseless pursuit and
Okay, so I'll give a little bit of a harsh answer and a little bit of a soft answer. And I'll try to see how to soften the harsh answer. Not harsh, but sort of direct, I would say. Bhagavad Gita, in the very beginning, we said in the orientation itself, is not about making our present life just better. Slightly, you know, tweaking it so that it's not one of those, you know, how to live successfully or 7 habits of successful people or any of that. It's not about making our present situation a little better. It's about a whole different concept, a whole different level. And connecting with God has absolutely nothing to do with whether you're a vice president or a senior vice president or a whatever tag you put in front of the vice president, executive vice president, or this vice president, or a janitor. Even a janitor can be a greatest spiritualist. So end of the day, these titles, which college you go to, how much money you have, does not matter. Absolutely does not matter. And it shouldn't matter. Now that's the highest level. Now it will take a very long time, maybe across lifetimes. This is a long journey, not limited by our current body. Okay. So the most important thing is to start the journey and go gradually. And gradually try to reduce our wants or our cravings, hankering. These are all kind of, you know, whichever word hits you or touches your heart, take that word. Reduce those gradually. Don't be driven. I met, you know, you may brought up college. One of my many long years ago, is very sad. His son was pretty good. My son got into Princeton. He really wanted to go to MIT. I mean, he's doing a very good right now. It's been 10 years since he got in and, you know, doing very successful. He has his own business and he got married and very, you know, everything is going great. I mean, I'm not trying, but, you know, you brought up college, like, you know, it's not like he dropped out and, you know, started taking drugs or, you know, completely became a loser. So does that help to answer the, so gradually, you know, doesn't matter, you know, this or that, whether I got a promotion, am I a good person? It's not about how many people will come to my promotion party, but how many people will come at my cremation if I were to die. That should be our goal. Okay, how many people will come at my funeral? How much people really care or love me, care for me? Being a good person. So we'll come to this discussion later. Being a good person, like we said, is still at a material level. Arjuna was trying to be a good person in chapter 1. But we are not even like Arjuna. If you were in that battle, let us say, or something in our battles, we were like, yeah, I'm going to kill those rascals. I'm going to, you know, those guys did that to me. This is the time, ready for battle. Right? He was having all these things about compassion and forgiveness. Many of us don't even have that. So Arjuna is already starting at a very high level. And that makes us perfect, or that makes one a perfect candidate to receive spiritual knowledge. So the point is, we talked about alignment. Being a good person is aligned with spiritual journey. It is not spiritual. Being a good person is not spiritual. I hope you get that part, right? It's still bodily. Good means what? Okay, I care for people and all, whatever. That part I think is driven home, that goodness is not spirituality, but it is aligned in the same direction. If you are not such a good person, and if you're trying to become a good person, it's not like, oh, now I have to completely change gear and towards spirituality. It's in the same direction. So being did I give that example of a wet wood and a dry wood? No? Oh, so it's a very important example. There is wet wood and there is dry wood. Which one is easy to light up? Dry wood. So lighting up is like spiritual progress, let us say. So if the wood is wet, that means one is a sinful person. So it will take more time for him to light up. First, he has to become dry. Then it's very easy to light up. Dry wood is not equal to burning wood. Is it equal to burning wood? No. But it is the best situation to make it burn. Correct? One spark and it will catch fire. Dry wood or wet wood, you put it into fire, it will still not burn if it's too wet. Okay? So first try to become a good person as you are moving, then you will be moving in the right direction. And even goodness will tell you and sometimes, okay, I wanted the promotion, you brought a promotion as well. So think of it this way. For many people, and you will see this in your corporate culture, and I have seen it a lot in my office, wherever I work. Some people will say, okay, I'll do my work, I'll work hard and all that, and they are given a promotion, you feel happy, oh my God, yeah, this guy got promoted, and you feel really happy. Some guys, they just, suck on others and do all kind of, just, talking and no work, or maybe pull others down, badmouth them and this and that, and then get a promotion. What do you think about those guys? So at least you can become from that to this. So still the desire for promotion is there. Okay. But when that promotion itself becomes everything, your driving factor in life, then you are seeing maybe, because, there's, financial problems or what, and promotions are very few. You say, I'm doing all this hard work. It's not resulting in the promotion. So what's the next thing I can do? Maybe I can pull this guy down. He's the last one who is standing between me and my promotion. You see what I'm saying? So when you're too much driven by, there's too much hankering for the result, it can cause a good person to become a bad person as well. If the driving factor is that, people very easily get, it's a slippery slope. Don't let that happen. That would be progress. Keep yours, I'm not saying you become a spiritual saint tomorrow. Again, going back, don't pretend to be someone you are not. Make slow steps forward towards spirituality and becoming from a very hankering person for all these material things to somebody who is really a good person from a moral standpoint, a lot of which will be discussed in Bhagavad Gita, is progress. And it's okay if in that meantime you have some material desires. Out of your good work, you are still hoping, oh, tomorrow promotions will be announced. Let's see whose name is there. That night you have a sleepless night. Tomorrow they will announce. So you're still having that desire, but you are a good person. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
So make gradual progress. Okay, it's not like, oh, from tomorrow I'll become a saint.
Like you are not ruled by that desire.
Exactly.
It's just a stepping stone in the journey.
Correct. It's a byproduct. Be a good person. But Bhagavad Gita doesn't stop there. That is a tiny part of Bhagavad Gita, to be a good person. Bhagavad Gita is all about after that. Arjuna started with that point. That's actually the starting point of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna was already trying to be the best possible person, the most forgiving, the most kind, the most compassionate. Okay, any other questions? Yes. There's a question in the room. I don't see any hands raised, so please raise your hands. That way I will know who to go to. But here there was a hand raised.
Yes, Prabhuji. You that to explain that the human activities and activities it doesn't impact the soul. Right. But in the same time, we has a thought that okay, when we take a next birth, soul still carried the previous karma.
Yes. Okay.
So how the relation?
So it doesn't. I hope that question was heard on the Zoom. That we said that the actions of our actions or of in a particular body don't impact the soul. Yes. But as long as there is karmic balance, we had discussed this in the previous classes, I believe, that as long as there is karmic balance, the soul will be trapped in body to body to body. So yes, the karmic reaction is entrapping the soul. Okay. It is entrapping the soul and carrying the soul from body to body to body. But it is not affecting the soul's innate nature or the desire of the soul. So it is like that corrupt, always think about this. If this comes, use that driver analogy, Uber driver, taxi driver analogy. Okay. These are some nice ways to understand we have dull minds in Kali Yuga. So we need these little analogies, like the wallet analogy is very nice. This taxi driver analogy is nice. So the passenger always wants to go to home, back home. He told the driver, take me home to Vaikuntha. The driver instead took him to Las Vegas. Any number of times the driver keeps taking him to Las Vegas, the soul will suddenly not begin to like Las Vegas. He will still always want to go home. His desire won't change. He just remains enslaved for that much longer. But it doesn't mean that if I keep getting taken to Las Vegas indefinitely, somehow my desire will change. That's what I meant. That the soul is not impacted. Its desire, its root desire will still always remain the same. The soul is Satchidananda. Sat means unchanging. Okay?
Very much clear. Thank you.
That will never change. Just that it is overpowered. Like the passenger who is being always held at gunpoint. A very nice example or understanding given in Shastra is the example of Mother Sita. When she was enslaved by Ravana, did her desire ever change? Oh, it's been such a long time. Okay, let me accept Ravana. Let me give up my original desire of Lord Ram. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. But she's enslaved. What to do? Enslaved, unhappy, sad. But the desire is always pure, just like Mother Sita. Okay? And Ravana is like the mind. Anything else? Yes, Srini Prabhu, you have a question?
Yeah, there is a question in the group chat. I'm very interested in, yeah.
So please, when you post a question in the chat, also raise your hand. Okay, I'm not a very big podcaster or Zoomer or some,
Yeah, I think someone, Kavita posted it, it's a good question. I just want to know about that. Thank you.
If as a human, our goal is to attain spiritual attachment or sthita prajna, okay, then why did God create us? Wow. With all the attachments and responsibilities. Very nice question. And it's a MFAQ. MFAQ means most frequently asked question. Why did God create us? And that too with attachments. So I will give a short answer. Again, more of it will become clear in the 7th chapter and in the 26th verse. Ichha dwesha samuthena dvanda mohena bharata. So you can wait till that 7.26 to have this discussion. First of all, so the short answer is, okay, God has not made us in the way that we were inherently with attachments. Like we weren't started with a disadvantage. Okay, it's not like when in a race, 7 people are at one point and the 8th guy is standing 20 meters behind. Now he has to catch up. Poor guy. So we are not the poor guy who were inherently given a disadvantage of attachments. These attachments we built up over time. And I will go deeper into it later in future classes. Short answer. Bhagawan wants our love. Bhagawan has everything. He's Bhagawan. Does Bhagawan have everything?
Yes.
No, that's not the right answer. Except one thing.
Everyone's love.
Our love. And he can never have enough of it. Never. Okay? So he always wants our love. He's always lacking our love, your specific love. What is your name, Mataji? So he will always lack your full love, your specific. He may have the love of everybody else in this room. Still, he will be unsatisfied because he doesn't have your Maheshwari's love. He is so much attached to each and every living entity in the whole universe. Okay? But love means love out of free choice. Not, he's Bhagawan. So he can put the situation, he can even come in your heart. He's sitting in your heart. He can reprogram you to love you, to make you love him. But he follows the principle of, if you love someone, set them free. If they come back, then it means they love you. Otherwise, they never love you, right? So he has given us free choice. And giving us free choice means giving us both things. Things that we can things that let us turn to him and things that let us turn away from him. Both. If he only offers things which let us turn to him, where is the choice? Unfortunately, we have, what is this technical term for this in Sanskrit is Bahirmukha. We have become Bahirmukha, means we have turned towards the other things. We have made that other choice, unfortunately. Multiple choice question, you ended up choosing the wrong answer. Now, Bhagavan is sending all his acharyas, all the saints and all the, he himself comes down and tells Bhagavad Gita. That is his way of presenting the other choice. Even at the end of whole Bhagavad Gita, till the very end of Bhagavad Gita, finally, we know what he tells Arjuna. Yad ichhasi tatha kuru. Now I have told you the whole Bhagavad Gita. Now you do whatever you want. He gives full free choice to Arjuna after telling whatever it is. At that point, if Arjuna would have said, no, I still want to leave, Krishna would have taken him away. Because he has done his part of providing the knowledge and the education, inspiration, whatever. Final choice is Arjuna's. Okay? So that is why he gives you can say there are too many material attachments in the world. That's not true. By the way, that's only true of Kali Yuga, where it appears to be more. There are more bars and pubs and nightclubs than temples. I agree. In Satyuga, what do you think? I mean, we have not seen Satyuga, but what do you think it might be? More bars, nightclubs and casinos, or more temples? Right? But that is also material world, isn't it? So yes, in the material world, there are both options. Based on certain time, place, circumstances, the things go up and down. But God has given us both options equally. In fact, he has given us more options to turn to him. We are the ones who are turning away. We are the ones who are constantly choosing Bahirmukha. Okay? But he wants our he wants us to freely choose him. That is love, isn't it? I hope that question was answered to some extent. We'll go more deeper in future lessons. Okay, so we'll stop here. There are no more hands raised, I see. And so I'm not going to keep delaying. So thank you so much for joining. Yeah, sorry. So one more thing, please wait, please wait, please wait. So we have come up with a new idea. We heard it from some other people and all that, there'll be a little quiz or like a question answer, like a short one to prompt people to, keep engaged. And so it's voluntary, it's not like, and there's just so that, one of a few of our friends said, oh, we are doing some class somewhere. And when they told us that there will be this, then I read Bhagavad Gita more seriously. That is our goal, for somehow or the other to make you read Bhagavad Gita more carefully. If you ask me that, if you allow me to put a gun on your head, and if that will make you read Bhagavad Gita, I will put a gun on your head also. I'm just joking. But whatever makes you sincerely read Bhagavad Gita is what we would like to do. One of the things was, okay, give some kind of a quiz or you can attempt it. And, that friend told us that the next chapter one, now I'm going to not attempt it till I read it a couple of times. Then I will attempt. Okay, great. The main thing was to read it. So we'll do something like that.
Start from chapter 1 or from where we are?
We'll see. I mean, again, we are also, this whole thing about the quiz and all is all extempore. The idea came again to do whatever little we can to help you, read Bhagavad Gita. We'll start it from 3rd chapter or 1st chapter or something.
Would be nice so that it will be a recap.
Yeah, but again, don't bite more than you can chew as well. So we'll see. And it is completely voluntary. Even if we do from 1st chapter, if you want to start from 3rd chapter, let's say, you can do. Again, treat it like just another way to encourage you to read Bhagavad Gita. So we'll do something like that. And if you have any other such ideas, please share with us. Okay, anything else? Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Krishna.